Wake up. Wake up to the sound that has been calling you long before you had a name, long before you knew the weight of your ambitions. It is a whisper carried by the winds of history, echoing through the silent corridors of time. A reminder that every great soul who dared to rise from the ordinary was once in the same place you are now. Somewhere between fear and possibility. Somewhere between hoping for a better future and actually deciding to create one. This is your moment to awaken to your power within. You have heard it before. That tiny, persistent voice telling you that you were built for something more. It is not an accident. It is not your imagination. It is your true self stirring inside you, like a fire that refuses to die. Napoleon Hill wrote about it as the burning desire. Edison carried it like a light through the dark when he failed 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. Lincoln felt it like a constant ache in his soul, long before history called him to lead. Every visionary who shaped the world was driven by an invisible force they decided to trust, even when the world had yet to believe. And here you stand at the edge of your own destiny, with the weight of your fears on one shoulder and the weight of your greatness on the other. Do you feel it? That tension is the crucible where real power is born. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every action you take is either pulling you toward the future you deserve or dragging you back into the shadows of yesterday. Every day that passes without you seizing your power is another chapter written by someone else's hands. But this is the truth most will never dare to face. To change your world, you must first change your mind. The walls you believe surround you are built from your own assumptions. Break them, knock them down. Look at those who walked this path before you. They were not born different. They simply learned to believe different. Carnegie did not wait for luck to show up. He decided to create it. Disney did not wait for permission to build his dream. He painted the future in his mind long before anyone would fund it. Ford did not wait for roads to exist before he decided to put his machines on them. They looked into the unknown and decided to embrace it as a blank canvas. And you can do the same. Right here, right now, because your mindset is the key that unlocks every door. What you truly believe will shape your actions, and your actions will shape your destiny. This is why most people fail. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack resources, but because they never learned to master the thoughts they feed their soul every morning. If you believe you are ordinary, you will live an ordinary life. If you believe you are a product of your circumstances, you will forever be trapped by them. But if you dare to believe you were born for greatness, if you dare to hold that vision like a compass in the storm, then the world itself will shift to meet you halfway. Every success story begins with one clear, unshakable belief. I can and I will. That belief is your starting point. It is the soil from which every mighty tree grows. And when you truly believe, when you truly feel that purpose stirring deep within you, then discipline follows naturally, not as a burden, but as a ritual that sharpens you every day. Edison did not invent the light bulb by dreaming once. He showed up 1,000 times, driven by his certainty that light would eventually pierce the darkness. And that is what true power looks like in practice. The unbreakable habit of showing up, no matter how long the road or how loud the doubts. That is the discipline that forges ordinary people into unstoppable forces of nature. There will be days when you do not feel like taking action. Days when the world looks at you and shakes its head as if to say, give up. Let those days come. Meet them with a quiet smile. Let the winds howl and the rain pour. Because deep inside, you know who you are becoming. You know that every drop of effort, every ounce of resilience you pour into your craft is carving your future into stone. And when you wake up each morning, before the noise of the world floods in, take a moment to see the masterpiece you are already creating. Picture it clearly. Breathe it in. Let it live in your veins. That is your purpose. And it is more real than anything your fears can conjure. Your power is already there. It has been waiting for you. It is waiting for you to silence the voices that tell you to wait for a perfect time, a perfect plan, a perfect sign. The perfect moment will never come. The only perfect time is now. Every breath you take is proof that you are alive. And every breath is an invitation to rise. And if you accept this invitation, if you truly lean into your potential, then the road ahead will still demand everything of you. But you will give it gladly. Every trial will become your teacher. Every setback will become fuel. Every step will become a testament to the fire that burns inside you. That is what resilience really means. Not the absence of struggle, but the refusal to stop moving forward. That is what adaptability really looks like. Not the absence of uncertainty, but the courage to embrace the unknown as a worthy partner. And above all, that is what true mastery feels like. The moment you recognize that you have everything you need within you already. The talents, the ideas, the will. The world will try to convince you that you must wait to be ready. Do not wait. Be ready by deciding to trust yourself. You have the power to shape your reality, and you are waking up to it now. And so you rise with a deeper understanding. The mastery is a process built on a single, burning commitment to live like the person you are becoming, even before the evidence of that future has appeared. Every morning that you choose purpose over comfort, every hour that you spend cultivating skill over indulging distraction, you are declaring to the world and to yourself that you believe in something greater than the present moment. That is how futures are built, not by grand, sweeping gestures, but by steady, deliberate choices that compound over time into unstoppable momentum. And as you embrace this discipline, you begin to see what so many overlook, that every small action is a seed planted in fertile ground. The path you take now, the books you read, the thoughts you nourish, the habits you refuse to abandon, they all grow into something larger than you could have imagined. Henry Ford understood this long before the first Model T ever left his factory. Every decision to innovate, every determined hour spent perfecting a process, was an investment in a vision so vivid that it pulled him relentlessly forward. It wasn't luck that built his empire. It was his unyielding commitment to an idea that felt impossible to most. And what of you? Will you dare to make the impossible real? Will you believe so fiercely in your purpose that the noise of the world cannot drown out the call in your soul? Because this is what separates the average from the extraordinary. The power to hold a dream so clearly that it burns away the fog of fear and uncertainty. Walt Disney didn't wait for someone else to believe in his dream of an animated empire. He painted it on the walls of his own heart, long before the first reel was ever shown. And just as Disney refused to give up after being told that nobody would pay to see cartoons, so must you learn to persevere when the world meets your conviction with indifference, with skepticism, with rejection. That is where resilience is forged. In those dark, quiet nights, when you question if it's all for nothing, and yet you take another step, even one more step, even one more breath, you must understand that greatness is not granted. It is earned. It is won through trials that test your spirit and make you ask yourself, how much do I want this? And when you choose to rise again, when you refuse to turn back, that is the moment you grow into the person who can hold the life you desire. And with that growth comes a deeper sense of clarity. Because as you walk this path, your vision sharpens. The distractions that once consumed you begin to lose their hold. The chatter of doubt that used to sound so loud begins to grow faint. And in its place, a deep, calm certainty. A sense that you are exactly where you need to be. Not because it's easy, but because it's true. This is the power of knowing your purpose. Napoleon Hill wrote of a definiteness of purpose, that unbreakable knowing that guides every action. That purpose is like a lighthouse on a dark shore, casting its light across turbulent seas. When you live by it, you navigate every challenge with steadiness. Every setback becomes part of the journey. Every effort becomes meaningful. And as your purpose grows stronger, so too does your ability to embrace adaptability. That rare skill of bending without breaking, of learning without losing yourself. History is shaped by those who can adjust their sails when the winds change, rather than cursing the storm. Abraham Lincoln failed repeatedly before reaching the presidency, but with each defeat he adapted, learned, refined his resolve, until there was nowhere left for him to go but up. That is a secret most will never learn. That resilience is a dance between persistence and adaptation. To persist without growth is to stagnate. To adapt without persistence is to drift. But to do both is to become unbreakable. It is to flow like water around obstacles and strike like steel when the moment is right. And as you embrace these truths, as you weave them into the fabric of your daily life, you will discover the profound power of gratitude. Not the passive kind of gratitude that says thank you only when things go your way, but the fierce, unyielding gratitude that welcomes every experience as a teacher, every hardship as a hidden gift, every moment as an opportunity to deepen your strength and your wisdom. This is what true mastery looks like. The ability to stand in the center of your life, surrounded by noise and chaos, and feel nothing but a deep, unshakable appreciation for the chance to grow. Because every breath you take is a miracle. Every thought you shape is an act of creation. Every choice you make is a declaration of who you are becoming. And as you wake up to this power within, the world will shift in response. Doors that were once closed will begin to open. People who once doubted will begin to believe. Paths that were once hidden will reveal themselves to you. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And when that change takes root deep in your soul, you will look back and see that every challenge was simply preparing you for this moment. Every fear you conquered was training you to lead. Every loss you endured was clearing space for greater victories. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was random. Every thread was part of a larger design that you were weaving all along, and you will stand taller because of it. Stronger because of it. Grateful because of it. And in that moment, you will understand the most powerful secret of all. The power was never outside of you. It was always within, waiting, watching, hoping you would have the courage to wake up and embrace it fully. And now that you have woken up to the limitless power within you, there is no turning back. The path lies before you, and it is yours to walk. Every day, every thought, every action will now be guided by a new light burning in your chest. A light that will not fade, and you will follow it, one brave step at a time, knowing that your story is still being written, and knowing, too, that you have everything you need to make it extraordinary.